Hi, this is Cayman with S&B, and today we're going to be installing our new intake kit for the 2024 and up Toyota Tacoma. This also fits the 25 and up 4Runner. This is our fully enclosed intake kit that comes with our clear lid on the top so you can see the condition of your filter, a high flow intake tube. This works with your stock calibration, no need for a tune. Flows awesome, sounds incredible, and let's see how easy it is to install today. So if you've already received your intake kit, simply take out the install card and use your smartphone camera to take a picture of the QR code. It'll bring up the link, take you to our most up-to-date step-by-step instructions. Then this is everything laid out on the table. You got it all broken down. Comes with a clear lid and a gasket. This will be separate. We already have this installed right now. Intake tube, all the rivets, the front scoop, the mesh to keep out large debris, the coupler, side scoop, inlet, side scoop plug, large air filter, as well as a front scoop seal, then all the grommets to secure the box to the vehicle. We're gonna get started, and now we're gonna get these rivets out of the OEM box. Simply just push on the center section. It'll come free. There's 4 of them securing down the front scoop. These aren't going to be reused. We can get the front scoop out of the way for now. And then now we will disconnect the MAF sensor. Disconnect the MAF sensor, simply just to press right back here, right on that button, and wiggle it off. You heard a click. Now we're going to remove this rivet right here. Get under it. That comes off. The next we're going to find our 10 mil, and we're going to remove this clamp. Once this clamp is removed, we will be free to remove the OEM intake. Now we're going to pull the intake tube off. It likes to stick a little bit. I do have it loose enough. I'm going to wiggle it. Then the whole assembly will come out of the vehicle. And we are going to reuse this MAF sensor, so we can get this removed right now at this point with just a Phillips head. Now we're going to start building the S&B intake kit so we can get this installed in the vehicle. These 2 smaller rivets are for the front 2 rivets. We'll get to those later. But you can find these bigger rivets. Get these lined up. Now when they're all in, you can get them pressed down. Now this is all secure. Now we are going to go over to installing the large filter into the intake box. And there is a trick to doing this. So first step is going to be removing the clamp. And then we're going to invert the flange. Just like that. And we're going to drop the filter in, and then snap it in to this hole. And after we have the flange pulled out, we'll snap it into the intake box. So you might think that was a little bit hard to install the filter. Our whole goal with the intake kit is to make a high flowing intake kit. So having a large filter like this gives you more dirt holding capacity and better airflow. Now we're going to install the front scoop. So this is going to seal to the hood, keep out engine heat. Now we're going to flip the box around and install these 3 grommets. Now we're going to install the MAF sensor into the intake tube with our MAF pad and MAF gasket. And the cool thing about these sensors is there's no way to install them incorrectly. They only go one direction. If you try to put it in the incorrect direction, the bolts wouldn't line up. But just to save some time, that chamfered edge lines up there, that chamfered edge, then the chamfered edge on the gasket as well. And these are longer bolts we include. Drop those in place. Now we'll tighten these up. Install the step coupler onto the tube. We can tighten this up with our 8mm. Also use a flathead. And we'll bring our box back. Then we do have our clamp installed. We can get this installed. And I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit so it doesn't fall out as I'm putting it into place. But you do want to be able to spin it around to get it to line up with the intake tube. Your S&B kit comes with 2 tubes, and depending on which trim you have will determine the tube that you use. So if you have a TRD Pro or a Trail Hunter, you will use AL1523-00. And if you have any of the other trims, like a SR5 or a Pre-Runner or a TRD Sport, you will use AL1524-00. Now we're going to find our clear lid and take off the protective film off both sides. Then we're going to install this into our silicone lid seal. Now to install the clear lid, find the tab and then the finger on the clear lid, press it in, then work your way around the lid. Now we're going to install the clear lid into the intake box. So just work your way around the box until it snaps in. Okay, now it's all locked in and we're ready to install the intake kit into the vehicle. Now that we have the intake box ready to be installed in the vehicle, we're going to decide between a side inlet and a side plug. The side inlet allows you to use the opening and the fender to get even more airflow. It's also going to sound a little bit louder than if you went with the plug. The plug is, again, to be for a quieter ride. If it's me, I personally would want to run it open all the time for the best airflow and best performance. That's why you kind of bought the intake kit in the first place. Then this inlet on the side also works with OEM snorkels. So that the OEM piece that bolts in to the opening in the fender matches exactly to the opening in the S&B box. Then we have a front block-off plate where rather than having this mesh opening, you put the block-off plate here so you're only feeding air into the intake kit through the snorkel. So in this case, we're going to install the fender seal and we're going to get this dropped in to the vehicle. So we have those grommets on the bottom of the box. We're going to get those lined up. So I got those lined up. Get the intake tube installed just like that. Then go back to the box to make sure it's fully seated. We got this installed. It's all seated. And a good way to know if it is seated in the grommets is you can feel down and you can feel the metal bar that sticks through our grommet. So it's gonna be hard to see with the glare, but I can see one there and I can see one in the front. Everything lines up. And now we just need to get our front scoop riveted into place.
If you have a 4Runner, there will be one extra trim piece that you can attach to the bottom that'll come with the S&B kit, and you'll use the 2 long supplied rivets just to press these on, and then you'll put it in the vehicle.
Now we're going to go install our MAF sensor. The side with the locking tab will remain up, just like that. Then we're going to find our 8mm. Make sure this is installed onto the tube leading to the turbo. We'll get this tightened down as well. Now to keep the MAF sensor organized, we're going to zip tie it to the tube here. Still leaving enough slack on that MAF sensor. Take some snips, cut the zip tie there. Installation's complete. Again, we're pulling from the same location as the factory here. And again, we opted for the additional side scoop inlet there, so we're getting even more airflow to the side there. Ginormous, huge air filter that you can see through the clear lid, knowing when the filter is dirty. Also looks great in the engine bay. And then our tube uses the stock MAF calibration and feeds your turbo with more dense air. Let us know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.